the water, there's 240 different species of fish. Out here, it's pretty common to see largemouth bass, peacock bass, tilapias, bowfins, bluegills, brims, chain pickerels, Mayan cichlids, Oscars, Florida gar, and catfish. We also have 350 different species of birds out here. Now, on a good day, it's pretty common to see great egrets, snowy egrets, cattle egrets, great blue herons, tricolored herons, and greenback herons, turkey and black vultures, ospreys, red-shouldered hawks, falcons, ibises and hingas, snail kites, and bald eagles. Big fish down in the water on the left, that is a Florida gar, long, slender, spotted fish, Florida gar. Water out here is fresh water, and this fresh water comes to us from Lake Okeechobee. That's a big lake in the center of South Florida. Contrary to popular belief, the Everglades is one big river, and this is not a swamp. This is a very slow-moving river, 62 miles wide, 120 miles long, and the flow of water out here is only about 100 yards every day. So that's very slow. You can get out and crawl faster than that. Process begins when Lake Okeechobee gets full from rainfall and natural aquifers. Some of that water is released out here into the Everglades until we fill up to about 24 inches deep or 2 feet. So anywhere you go out here, it's only 2 feet deep. Once we get full, that water starts to flow south behind us, spilling out into the Florida Bay down by the Florida Keys. Down south along the coastal region, there's alligators, crocodiles, and manatees all swimming in the same water. That's the only place in the entire world where that happens. And the only other place besides America that has alligators in it is China. Only 2 species of alligators on Earth, Chinese alligators and American alligators. Bitter and they're natural laxatives, so nobody eats them. If you were to eat a whole pond apple right now, you'd be cleaned out before we got back to that dock. Bunch of the 16 species of turtles out here, we'll eat them. Usually we're going down here, we'll see yellow-bellied sliders, red ear sliders, box turtles, mud turtles, soft-shell turtles, common snapping turtles, and Florida snapping turtles. Sawgrass. The reason they call it sawgrass is pretty simple. It has serrated edges that are just like the blades of a saw, very sharp. If you run your finger down the edge, it will cut you. If you go from bottom up, it doesn't do you any harm at all. So I'm going to pass this around and let you guys check it out. Be very careful with it. Everglades had several different names. When the Spanish explorers first arrived here in 1512, they called the Everglades Laguna del Espíritu Santo. That means the Lake of the Holy Spirit. But the Native Americans who already lived out here, they called the Everglades Beheyoki, and that means grassy river. Then about 100 years ago, the first non-native settlers arrived out here, and in those days they called grassy land glades. When they stared off into the glades, they seemed to go on forever. That's how they coined the term, the Everglades. Down there in the water, those are brim. Striped fish with the orange fin, brim. We didn't see any snakes out here, but Florida's home to 26 different kinds of them, including 6 that are venomous. We have eastern diamondback rattlesnakes, pygmy rattlesnakes, canebrake rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, copperheads, and coral snakes. But usually on our trails, we don't see the venomous species. Out here, I've seen red rat snakes, yellow rat snakes, gray and black racers, banded water snakes, brown water snakes, and mud snakes. Seventh snake that lives in the Everglades, but it's not native, it's an invasive species, and that's the Burmese python. In the mid-90s, we started catching pythons out here, and we believe that a whole bunch of pet owners began releasing their pet snakes as they got too large for their enclosures. The pythons quickly found their way around the Everglades, and they began to thrive out here. Burmese pythons, they'll grow longer than 20 foot, and out here in the Everglades, they were documented to swallow 8-foot alligators. More recently, they were photographed swallowing very large wild boars, and Channel 7 News had a video submitted of a python that swallowed 3 80-pound white-tailed deers out in Big Cypress National Preserve. That's only 40 minutes west of here, just down the street. That is a log. It's a log. A piece of wood. No, it's not alligator. left-hand side. We're at the end of our tour, but I'd like to take a second to thank you all so much for coming out to Gator Park today and for taking a tour with me, your tour guide Jay. Thank you guys so much. We're approaching our dock, so I need everybody to remain seated while I tie the boat up so we can safely exit one row at a time. And if you guys enjoyed your tour, please keep in mind that us tour guides in the Florida Everglades, we do work for tips and gratuities. So anything and everything's gratefully appreciated. Once again, folks, thank y'all so much for coming out today. Now, as soon as we get off the boat, you're going to head over to the left-hand side for your nature show. You guys are going to watch alligator wrestling, see some animals, and meet an alligator named Larry.